Look, I thought it was a really good football game. I know some people didn't love it because it wasn't high scoring, but I thought
Hmm.
it was a well played game. Look, I know people. It's easy to take shots at the Cowboys because they didn't win. I've been seeing it all over social media, all in the news, everything. It's easy to take shots at the Cowboys because they didn't win. But to me, this wasn't really like all the years in the past. I didn't think the Cowboys like blew the game on something stupid as we've kind of seen them do before. I thought the 49ers won the game. I mean, the 49ers have an outstanding team, a great defense. I know, yes, we can talk about Dak's turnovers, especially the first one when he throws the ball late in the flat and it gets intercepted. Like, you just can't do that. That's quarterback 101. Um, so yeah, I mean, we could talk about the turnovers, but we also have to give credit to the team that they're playing against. I mean, the 49ers can do that to you. They can make you look bad because their defense is that good. So I think it's a really good win for the 49ers. Obviously, if you're a Cowboys fan, you're disappointed.
Hmm.
But to me, this isn't like one of those things where the Cowboys were the number one seed and then got beat by a six seed and they just kind of imploded. They lost to a really, really good football team. And that's what happens in sports. So to me, I just don't feel like this was a huge thing for the Cowboys. I just think it was a good win for the 49ers.
Yeah, I think you're letting them off the hook a little bit. I'm sorry, Jay. I know that's the team you rooted for, but I really think you're letting them off the hook. Don't get me wrong. The 49ers defense is nothing to sneeze about. They are the real deal.
Yep.
But there were, if I can recall, there were a few passes that Dak just missed or he
Sure.
made the wrong decision. For one, who was it? He tried to throw it to CD Lamb. It was Fred Warner was right behind him. And you on the other side, you had T.Y. Hilton wide open, and you had time in the pocket, but you kept trying to force feed it to CD Lamb. You have other playmakers on this field who were wide open, and that wasn't the first time. You missed the wide open Michael Gallup going down the line. Was that towards the end of the game? You threw it short. That allowed the I think it was the 49ers linebacker or corner to catch up. So I'm like, I'm not, he doesn't get off the hook. And those interceptions were not good interceptions. They were very bad decision making. But not
Yeah.
only that, towards the end of the game, it's just like, it's the same thing that happened last year. Dallas doesn't read a rule book. You don't know the rules of the game. Last year, Dak should have known to give the football to the ref. This year, your tight end doesn't know to put 2 feet down. He doesn't know that you got to move forward before you step out of bounds. You're going back. Clearly, the 49ers defense knew the rules because he was telling the ref, hey, you got to keep rolling that clock, if I can recall. So, no, the Cowboys imploded once again. They don't get off the hook.
I
You
don't know. I don't know if I
tried.
see it that way. I like, yes, did Dak miss some throws? Sure, but like we could go to every single game over the weekend and find a quarterback that missed throws. It happens in every single game. Like, like we could go to Brock Purdy. He missed some throws. Josh Allen missed some throws. Joe Burrow, like everybody misses throws. So like no quarterback comes out and
But
plays a perfect game. And
Brock,
then
go
like
ahead.
at the end of the game, yeah, the tight end, yes, he should have turned upfield and fought to get out of bounds. But I don't know, like, can you hang that on the whole team because one player doesn't do what he's supposed to do? I just don't
But
know
it
that you can hang that
matters.
on the Cowboys in general because you have one guy make a bonehead play. So
The
it
point
just didn't
is,
feel like an implosion to me. And, they got the ball with what, like 45 seconds left and had to go 95 yards. It didn't feel like it was going to happen with no timeouts. Like that would have been a miracle had they got the ball down the field and scored. So
but the
I
point
don't know. It
is,
just didn't feel like last year to me.
the point is you need to execute when it matters. I don't care who you are or when it matters. Dak, for time, all I heard all year long was how good of a quarterback Dak was. Did he play like he was a good quarterback this game?
So I think one
It
of
was
the
a
things that
bad
people
game.
I think one of the things that people have to do though is they have to separate fans from reality. Like fans are fanatics. Of course Cowboy fans are going to say that Dak is the best quarterback ever, but I don't think there's anybody who looks at sports through a realistic lens that has Dak Prescott in their top 5 quarterbacks. So I mean, yeah, the Cowboy fans, sure, but isn't that what they're supposed to do? They're fans. That's
No, I
that's
didn't
how
say
they're
the
supposed to
fans. I
be.
said people. I'm not talking about just the fans.
Well,
Even you
who
said
who are these
he's a
people?
talented
Because I don't.
quarterback.
He is a
Did you
talented
not say
quarterback.
that?
He's
You said he was
absolutely
a
a
top
talent.
10.
I never said he was top 10, but we
You
could
said he was
probably
top
make
10.
the argument that he's somewhere between 12 to 15 for sure. Absolutely.
K-Walk, I
He's a
can't stand you right there.
he's a very talented quarterback. He's
Look,
not in the top tier, but he's a look. I guarantee you, there's at least 15 other teams that would rather have Dak than the guy that they have. I guarantee you that.
15 is not top 10. I'm just saying that.
I never
But
said he was top
I
10.
will say we're gonna have to rewind these tapes soon. But I will say this because I know we got to move on. And K-Walk didn't get his thoughts about it yet. This is what I will say. No, 49ers played a great game. And Brock Purdy did not make some of the crazy decisions that Dak Prescott was making. Yeah, Brock Purdy may have missed some passes, but he also made some incredible passes as well. So
Brock Purdy
I'm
played
sorry.
okay. I don't think Brock Purdy set the
I didn't
world
say
on fire by
I
any
didn't
stretch
say
of the
I
imagination.
didn't say
He played an okay game.
I didn't say he played great or awesome. I said he played better than Dak Prescott when it came down to winning this football game. He did what he was supposed to do.
I mean, I'm not making the case that Dak played well. He obviously did not play well. But I don't think that means he's all of a sudden a bum. I mean, I still think he's a viable quarterback in the NFL for sure.
He's not a bum. He has to understand when it's winning time. You need to execute and do what you need to do. But all right, guys, it sounds like Jay's gonna be a Cowboys fan for a lot longer than 1 year.
I don't know. We'll
but
see.
K-Walk, your thoughts. This is your team. Your team wins. They're gonna see my team in Philly. What were your thoughts on this game? What you sitting there eating? What was that, popcorn?
It's popcorn. That's popcorn, man. I had my popcorn ready. Ready.
That was well played, K-Walk. That was well played.
I have my popcorn ready, bro. But I do have to agree with Jay, though. I do have to agree with Jay on this. But at the same time, Jay, Dak did miss some crucial throws. The 49ers allowed him to win that game. The 49ers, I think at this point, as much as it's hard for me to say this, as you know, as a 49er fan, the Cowboys lost that game. The 49ers didn't win that game. I'm really going to say that because of the fact of the matter is, like Britt said, that there were guys that were open that Dak missed. They were, and you can, and to your point too, Jay, is that there were 49er receivers that were open that Purdy missed. You know what? I just think it just comes down to what we always been talking about with the Cowboys is they are the Cowboys. Is it Dak? Is it McCarthy? It wasn't the defense. Definitely down to the defense. 19 points. It definitely was not the defense. So you got to look at yourself and say, listen, if we go into this game, and if you're a Cowboy or you're a Cowboy fan, I say, listen, we need 20 points to win this game. You take that every time. You take that every time, even in the playoff game, even against the 49ers, even against the Eagles. 20 points should be enough to win this game. So you know what? Wow, that was a tough one. 49ers, whoo. And then we got to deal with this other nonsense with with the D lineman who got arrested. But we'll talk about it at a later point, but at a latter part of the show. But yeah, I mean, I think Dak wasn't. He's not that guy, man. He missed too many throws. And not only that, the end of the game is, I don't know what that was about, with McCarthy not understanding. Schultz not understanding the rule, and then also McCarthy not understanding the time clock. Before they punted, they should have called timeout. They should have called timeout and saved some time, and then they would have given more time to get down the field and possibly make a run at it. But you know what? That's what the Cowboys do, man. They just for whatever reason they don't pay attention to the small things, the intricacies of the game, and that's what ultimately cost them that game. And I really thought that the Cowboys lost that game and the 49ers did not win that game.
Yeah,
rule
and
book.
you know, I know, K-Walk, you brought that question up. I was going to go the other way. I was going to say I thought the 49ers won it. But look, I don't
Okay.
think it can be overlooked either that the Cowboys lost that Pollard early in that football game, a dynamic weapon, part of their offense. Zeke is washed. Like when Pollard went out, they couldn't run the football anymore. They lose that ability to throw him the football out of the backfield. I really thought that hurt their offense a lot.
Yes.
Now, look, injuries is a part of football, and you got to have a backup that's ready to go. So there's no excuses in terms of that for Cowboys. But I do think that hurt the Cowboys when they lost
for
Pollard
sure.
because he's such an important part of that offense.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Jay.
This is what I will say. They still had an opportunity to win, and they didn't execute when it mattered. Now, I will defend the Cowboys in this because I've heard a lot of nonsense about that whole very last play of the game. What were they thinking? Look, you're 75 yards down the field. You're hoping anything at that point is going to be able to work because the odds are not in your favor necessarily. So they was trying something different. They was hoping a miracle would happen. So I can't get on the Cowboys for just, trying to hope for the best in that situation. Unfortunately, Turpin caught the ball and he got tackled, but you just never know what could have happened in that particular moment in time.